So this shows the conditional statements for a mechanical governor. So here what is written? When the load of the engine increases, the engine and the governor speed decreases. As I discussed, when the load increases, then the speed decreases and decreases. This results in a decrease of the centrifugal force on the ball. Okay? So hence the ball moves in inward direction. Now because the rotating ball is losing the centrifugal force acting on it, that is why the ball comes in an inward direction. Okay? Balls come in the inward direction. So now at this time, during this condition, there is an attachment that causes the movement of this sleeve in a downward direction. Okay? So now when it moves in a downward direction, sleeve moves in a downward direction, the downward movement of the sleeve operates a throttle valve at the another end that automatically do a system in such a way through a bell crank lever mechanism that makes the throttle valve to open or to allow more fuel to the engine. Okay, so this is what a governor works. So now let us consider the vice versa condition. Now suppose when the load on the engine decreases, then what happens? The speed of an engine increases because of increase in the centrifugal force on the rotating fly balls. Now because of this condition, there is a need for maintaining the optimum speed or design speed, we need to decrease the supply of the fuel to the engine. So a mechanism that is known as bell crank lever mechanism that automatically controls the throttle valve and open it or close it in such a way so as automatically the supply of the fuel will regulate. Okay. So this is what the overall working of a mechanical governor or simply a centrifugal governor. So this shows a simple layout or diagram of a mechanical governor. Let's discuss over it. So if I explain it, then let us consider this is a simplest type of mechanical governor or centrifugal governor. That is your watt governor. So here, if I talk about the construction, then a watt governor, I will call it as a watt governor for simplification. It was first invented by James Watt in 1788. So the construction includes a spindle. This one is your spindle. So this spindle has a tendency to rotate about its own axis. Okay, its own axis, it has a tendency to rotate. So with this spindle, two arms are attached. Okay, two arms are attached. So one end of these two arms are pivoted to this spindle at the top. Okay, so these two arms are pivoted to the spindle at the top, means it has a tendency to move up and down about that pivoted point. It has two lower links. So these two lower links are attached to a sleeve system. Sleeve is a mechanical component. Now sleeve has a tendency to slide over the spindle. Means let us say when the speed increases or when the speed decreases, then because of the centrifugal force acting on these two elements, this sleeve will slide over the spindle in upward direction and downward direction, because in all other directions it is constrained. Only in y-axis it is free to move. Okay, so the lower arms are attached to a sleeve and there is a bevel gear arrangement which is provided by the end of the mechanical governor. So the purpose of this bevel gear is to convert the rotation in 90 degree. Okay, so let us say we are getting input. We are getting means input in the rotation form from engine. Then what happens? This shaft which is attached to this gear will rotate in this direction. Now my objective is to regulate the supply of the fuel depending upon the speed. So my arrangement is vertical. So I use this bevel gear so as this rotation will get converted in 90 degree. We all know the application, the function of bevel gear. So when the rotation get transformed in 90 degree, then this spindle starts rotating. Okay. So this is a construction of this left hand side portion. Let us come to this right hand side. So now what I said earlier, I said the function of mechanical governor is to regulate the supply of the fluid. Okay. So for same, consider this is your passage. Now this is a passage that allows the supply of the fuel from some reservoir to the engine. Arrows are indicating the direction. Now there is a throttle valve in between this passage that allows how much amount of fuel will pass from this side to that side. Okay. Now our objective using this mechanical governor is to operate this throttle valve in such a way that it automatically controls the supply of the fluid. Automatically control the supply of the fluid. So for the same purpose we use a mechanism that is your bell crank lever mechanism. So bell crank lever mechanism is attached to a sleeve, and one end of a bell crank lever mechanism is attached to a throttle valve. Okay, so this is the overall construction. Now one thing remains. These are the fly balls, which we also called governor balls. Okay, so these are the stoppers. I will discuss what are these stoppers and that's it. So this is all about the construction of a fly ball or mechanical governor. Now come to the working. So in working, what happens when we start engine and this bevel gear come into action, means they start rotating. Then what happens? The spindle goes on increase in aspect of speed, means its angular velocity get increased. Now as the speed we further increases the speed, then what happens? It is means these two fly balls through these arms are pivoted on the spindle. So as the speed increases, further increases, then the centrifugal force acting on this fly ball act in outward direction. So that causes the lifting of these two fly balls in upward direction. So now as the lower links are attached to a sleeve, that causes what? That causes the lifting of the sleeve in the upward direction. So now what is happening here? Speed is increasing, means load is decreasing. Load is decreasing means more fuel is going. So we need to maintain the supply of the fuel. To maintain the supply of the optimum speed or design speed for. So this bell crank mechanism will operate in such a way that under this condition the throttle valve will create a hurdle or allows low amount of fuel from this side to that side, so as the rotation of a mechanical governor with this fly ball will come to its equilibrium speed. Okay, so this is one condition. Let us consider another condition, that is when the load increases, then what happens? When the load increases, I discussed, when load increases, then speed decreases. When load increases, speed decreases. Now this causes what? This causes the reduction of the magnitude of centrifugal force on these balls. Means the radius of rotation comes down in downward direction towards the spindle. Now at this point what will happen? The spindle will move in downward direction. Now when it will move in downward direction, so now at this point we need extra fuel, means we need more fuel to the engine so as the design speed of engine will maintain. So this bell crank lever will again come into action, and it will open the throttle valve in such a way that more fuel will reach out to the engine, and as more fuel will get into the engine, then the speed get increased. Okay, so for maintaining the equilibrium speed of an engine, we use mechanical governor setup, and the main function, as I discussed earlier, of a mechanical governor or centrifugal governor or watt governor, this one is to regulate, is to maintain the supply of the fuel to the engine so as the speed will be maintained automatically to the equilibrium point. So this is all about the mechanical governor or watt governor, you can say, systematic diagram or explanation. Okay. So let's come on to the next slide, and that is the same condition is written here, and I will just, for recalling my words of previous slide, I am just recalling those words, and here it is written, when the load on the engine decreases, the engine and the governor speed increases. This we just justified in our previous slide, which results in the increase of a centrifugal force on the balls. Obviously, when the load decreases, speed increases, centrifugal force action will accelerate. So thus the ball moves outwards and the sleeve rises upwards, and vice versa, and the same vice versa thing happen for other condition. So moving on to the next slide. Say watt governor, means brief or way of elaborating watt governor. So these are the three conditions, three free body diagrams you can say, that shows the systematic arrangement of a watt governor. So this one is your first, where the two arms can be placed in such a way, means at a spindle point, the intersection point of these two upper arms is on a spindle. Second way is this, and third way is an extension. Okay, so these two round sketches are indicating the balls, flat balls. This one is your sleeve, and if I talk about this H, then this H is a height of a governor. Height of a governor. So now, what is height of a governor? It is again one of the terminology of a mechanical governor or watt governor. Height of a governor is a vertical distance. Remember, it is a vertical distance in between the intersection point of arm and spindle axis to the center point of a fly ball. So it is a vertical distance. Okay, so these are a few of the terminologies which we used or which we consider while we are doing the calculations of watt governor. Means up to what height or what speed this governor or that governor, any other type of governor can be implemented in an application. So move on. Now consider a few example, means a mathematical expression. Suppose the final equation here for a watt governor, the final equation is, the first thing for doing the final calculation, we should have or we should consider all the forces acting on the system. So as I discussed earlier, the total forces of what governor those are acting on it are centrifugal force. Here it is denoted by Fc, and capital W, that is the weight of a fly ball. So now capital H, small h is a height of a governor and small r is a radius of rotation. Clear? So when I take the moment about the pivoted point, means the point of intersection of the upper arm to the spindle axis, then the equation can be written like this: Fc into H is equal to W into R. Now we know the mathematical expression for mechanical centrifugal force Fc is mr omega square. M is the mass of a fly ball, r is radius of rotation, omega is a velocity, angular velocity, and capital W can be written as m dot g. So on solving it, we have final expression as h equal to g by omega square. So here the g is what? Acceleration due to gravity, and it is taken as meter per second square. Omega is taken as radian per second. Then h is in meters. Okay, it is through calculation. We all know omega is 2 pi n by 60. So by putting up these values in the equation, we have a final relation in between the height of a governor and the speed of a governor, which is written as h equal to 895 by n square. Okay, so it is in meter, that can be changed to other unit by doing simple calculation. So this is all about mechanical governor, centrifugal governor, or what governor, whatever you will call. So the main objective is to study all over about centrifugal governor, what is its function, how it works, and exactly what the mathematical expression we use for calculating or for making a relation in between height of a governor and speed of a governor for a watt governor. Okay, thank you.